Today on the show, what happens when you're a rich kid who finds out what life is like for the rest of us?
We react to IGN's top 100 TV shows of all time and ask the question, are you still allowed to like the Cosby Show?
I hope so, Josh. What a great show. And we give a guy some advice who is turning 30 and having not a midlife crisis, but a third life crisis.
All this and more on another fun episode of the Blimey Cow Podcast. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of the Blimey Pow.
Blimey Pow.
Pow.
Blimey.
My name is Josh.
And I'm Jordan.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks so much to our supporters at supportblimeycow.com for making this show possible, and a huge shout out to Sam Funk, Robin, and Rich, who became supporters this week.
Keep getting supporters.
I know.
Thank you.
So nice.
Thank you. This week's question: would you rather ride a bike 150 miles or 26.2 or run 26.2 miles, which is a marathon?
Yes.
Would
you rather run a marathon or bike 100 miles?
150. I changed it from 100 to 150 because who's not going to say 100? Because imagine if you're
who's not going to say 100-mile bike
imagine
ride?
if you're going downhill or you can stop pedaling. You know, with running, you can't stop.
Okay, so
I feel like that's way easier. I could be wrong because I'm biased.
Admittedly, that does change my calculation here because I thought I knew what I was going to say, but now I'm not.
If it's 150 miles or run a marathon where you're not walking, you're running.
Okay.
For a marathon.
We're going to talk about this next week. So yeah, comment below. Let us know what you think.
Also, check out our Clips channel, which is everything you love about the podcast without the time commitment.
YouTube.com/@BlimeyCowClips. Honestly, we say new clips every day, but it's really like 2 new clips every day.
Yeah, we have like 100 plus videos on there.
Already, yeah. I was doing the math and I was like, this channel's going to have more videos than the Blimey Cow channel in like a year. Let's get to our top stories.
Happy birthday to me.
Top stories at this hour.
You know, we're going to have a message about somebody with a third life crisis because they turned 30.
Yes.
I've turned 32. I'm turning 32 tomorrow.
Happy birthday,
Thank
buddy.
you. And I haven't had that third life crisis.
That's good.
I don't know why.
Well,
I'm waiting for it to come.
Yeah, well, that's true. If you're going to live to be 100, you'll have it next year.
You're right.
You'll have it 3 months
into the 33rd year.
Next year, yeah.
That's exactly right. Okay.
Right at Christmas time next year,
right.
We'll be like, Merry Christmas, Jordan, and you'll be like,
it's the third of my life wasted.
And you'll say, the birth of our Savior who died exactly the age I
am now.
He had his crisis at 11. He
did, because that was his third. You're right, Josh, because that's when he went to the temple and said,
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here.
He's like, where are you? He's like, it's a phase, Mom. I'm in the temple.
You're right. That was his third life crisis. I
gotta get out of here.
I gotta get out.
I can't be here anymore.
Josh, so I woke up this morning.
Yes.
And thank God. So I'm living another day to get to 100.
Yeah.
And it was hailing outside. Just hailing. And I hate it when it hails. Hail.
No.
I'm stressed out because I got a metal roof. I don't want this thing to get dinged up. That's happened before. So I go outside and I'm like, wait a minute. My baby chicks sleep now in the trees with their mom. And I have 2 left because there was a whole fiasco. But there's 2 left and they're doing great. Okay? And so it really hasn't rained in a long time here in Tennessee. Like it rained like crazy this summer and then it just stopped for like 2 months, it feels like. Anyway, so it just randomly hailed. And this is the first time they've really been out in the open when it's been like that. So I go outside because I knew one of them wasn't underneath the mother because I checked last night and one was. So I was like, well, the one who's sleeping under the mother, how do they do this? You know, they're in a branch and they're sleeping under the mom.
How do they
sleep
under the mom?
One wasn't, and so I went outside and it was gone. It's like raining. I'm like, where is this chick?
Where's the chick?
I hear it chirping somewhere. It's pitch black. It's like 5 a.m. It just started pouring.
What's going on?
So I'm outside. Where is it? I can't find it. I jump the fence. I look around and it's sitting on the barbed wire because it got knocked down and jumped up on the barbed wire, and so it was just getting rained on. So I picked it up and I put it in the hen house where it should be, but it's just too dodo to do it. So then it stopped raining. I went outside and the chicken coop door had opened because we have an automatic chicken door opener, which is really nice. And it was just walking around with the mom.
Okay, good.
So it survived.
You saved that thing's life.
I probably did.
Our final news story today is that we went and saw Dave Chapelle last week.
We did. And I'm not going to say, Josh, we were both thinking of other things while we were watching Dave Chapelle. Because remember they locked our phones.
Yeah,
you can't film the comedy show. Okay,
right.
Everyone's paranoid.
They made everybody put their phones in pouches, which that's fine. I get it, but also
give us some warning.
It's fine to not have my phone, but if I'm out downtown.
You have small children at home.
So my phone is vibrating in this bag over and over, and I literally we're in the nosebleeds at this
Highest,
show. Yeah, and you can't get your phone unlocked except for on the very bottom floor. So it's literally
in this one room in a hallway.
Yeah, it's like in this back room. It was dumb. It was not very well thought out, and I can't believe so many people just went along with that.
It's almost like this has happened before. But you know what is funny is we had paid for parking. Everything's so fancy now, so we were paying for parking using a QR code. We're so cool. And then
I forgot about that.
Yeah, this was the whole fiasco. So we paid for 3 hours of parking. Like, surely that's enough. We thought it was just going to be maybe one other guy and Dave Chapelle. Turns out Dave Chapelle brought this horde of people, like 6 or 7 people, which that's fine. I'm glad that they got their moment to shine. But then Dave Chapelle comes out and it's like, dude, we're we can't see our phones.
I can't add an hour.
You could add an hour on the app.
But I can't get to my phone.
And they're like, they'll...
And I never know who the last act is before Dave Chapelle. So I'm like, okay, there's another guy. How long is he going to go? Should I race down to the first floor just to add an hour and then come back up?
It wasn't worth it. So, they do tow cars. Or what they do, they don't tow them. They put a lock on your tire. Yeah. So we Dave Chapelle ends. Josh and I literally just start running. We just looked at it, go. So we just start running down the stairs, get ahead of everybody. We get to the parking lot and we see the car and it's totally fine. But it's been 30 plus minutes past.
I know. So we're not going to tell you where we parked.
No, we're not.
That's our special spot where they don't check. It was your first comedy show. Did you like it?
I did, Josh. It was entertaining. It was fun. Okay. It was good.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see the special when it's done, see how much of that material he uses.
Right. The jokes were funny, okay, but we're more interested in the behind the scenes stuff. I wanted to go see this so that when we watch the Netflix things, what did he cut? What did we notice didn't get as many laughs? What is his thought process? That was what was kind of cool about it. Question of the week.
Here we go. All right, last week's question was, would you rather own 3 smaller homes wherever you chose or 1 mansion in a single location? Jordan, your thoughts?
I don't really know the whole mansion thing. I don't like that word because I don't like mansions. I don't like the look.
Okay, but
if you're talking about just one bigger home.
Okay, I'm talking. Okay, our friend Alex growing up.
Okay, you would consider that a nice
big home on the hill.
I would 100% do that.
Yeah.
Well, I think that people will say 3 smaller homes.
You think so?
Yeah.
77% said 3 smaller homes wherever they chose. Only 23% said a mansion.
You got to hunker down, build those roots, create something, stay there. Don't let them come in.
I think I would rather. I think I would do the mansion. I think I would do the mansion too. I want to say the 3 smaller homes just to be contrary, but I don't think I would. I think I want to do the one house.
They both sound great. Well, they're both just different lifestyles. So one is I have more freedom to be able to go here, go here, go here. But then do you really have a sense of belonging with any of them?
Right.
At that point, are you missing something? It's not like you're renting them out. It's you have 3 homes that you can go to.
I just think, boy, it'd be nice if in the summer I could live in one place, and then in the fall and the winter I could take my family to another place, and then we could have another place where it's just hey, we like to be in this place when the weather is nice.
Yeah.
I'm thinking here, I'm thinking Florida, and I'm thinking Colorado.
Montana.
Idaho. Yeah.
Those are the
Tennessee, Montana, and Idaho. That's where you'd go?
No. Tennessee, Florida, and Idaho.
Oh, okay. This week's question is, Jordan, what a great question. Would you rather ride a bike 150 miles or run a full marathon, 26.2 miles?
I'd say those are both for a person who is fit. Both of those are equally as strenuous.
Yes,
100 miles on a bike if you're fit isn't the end of the world.
Okay, I don't want to talk too much about this, but I do just want to color it a little bit. How fast are you normally going on a bike? If I got on a bike, how fast am I going?
Well, how many hours would it take you to accomplish 150 miles?
I guess that's what I'm asking.
When I was riding and I would do like 79, I would probably we were going like 20 miles an hour for that amount of time. So that was like
I would go
hours or something like that.
I would go less. Okay, so
but if you're doing it solo,
the cycling would be a longer stretch of time than the marathon would.
Yeah.
But you have the option of resting on the bike in a way that you don't when you're running. Okay, so think about that. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. Let's get to Christian meme review. Mine is quick, so pay attention.
Is it?
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again. No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
You know, mine is similar to this.
I think that it's just going to be Michael Scott.
I
think this is just the Michael Scott review. Let's see what Jordan did.
Oh, no.
It's Trump.
Wow. I didn't know that. You're telling me now for the first time.
See, it's similar to yours. Wow. Like the...
I didn't know that. You're telling me now for the first time.
The way he talks, it's just... You're telling me now for the first time. It's so funny. It's like... I don't even know how to describe it.
That's when the Supreme Court justice died.
Right, when Ginsburg died. I know, I'll never forget that video. It was so... with the music in the background.
It was like almost like a plan.
Wow. You're telling me for the first time. That was a strange...
That was a strange time.
That was a strange
Everything was strange. You didn't know if it was planned or not.
I know,
like,
it was also weird because it's a psyop. What's happening? Why is that music playing? You're telling me for the first time. It's like, what the heck is happening? Then everything just stayed weird. So I was like, okay, I guess it wasn't a psyop.
Exactly.
It was just a weird day. All right. You had to be there. Maybe some of you weren't born when that happened. I'm turning the camera on right now so that we can finish this real quick because this goes with our question. Jordan just made me realize that if you're starting college right now, you were born in 2005.
Yeah.
That's the year I met my wife.
Isn't that crazy? It's just incredible. Yeah, I'm speaking to a group of people today, actually, Josh, and when this is released. And we've been doing Blimey Cow so long that when we started, they were basically, that would be one of their first memories, was watching a Blimey Cow video if they watched. So they would watch The Office and have the same feeling of like, this is old.
Yeah.
As like, because you know when that was
a show that was on TV as they were like a kid. That was a show that probably weren't allowed to watch.
Yeah, exactly. That's so funny.
So then they watched it that makes sense why kids are like it's starting to have a resurgence now because it's all the kids who maybe grew up and like it's like Dilbert. It's like you get it now. It didn't really make sense when you were a kid. Okay,
that's crazy.
Let's help this guy out now.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Jordan and Josh, I will be turning 30 in a couple of months, and I feel like my 20s have completely flown by. Since y'all are both a few years older than me, do you have any advice on how to make the most of your early 30s? Thanks, almost 30. How many times was the word 30 thrown in there?
I know what I will say, and I think you'll agree with me.
Just you say it then.
Your 20s are wasted. They're just straight wasted, okay? Don't feel guilty about it. The 30s are when you do all the stuff you should have done when you were in your 20s, but you were too busy goofing around.
Trying to find a girlfriend.
You're trying to find a girlfriend, making mistakes. And so now you can take the lessons that you learned from your 20s and actually apply them. So just don't feel bad about the fact that you didn't get as much done in your 20s because now you've had all the experiences. You can go forth into your 30s. Pick a skill, pick a trade.
Hyperdrive.
You'll
be doing it in hyperdrive because you'll be learn to go. You'll be doing it in hyperdrive because you'll feel the sense of urgency that you didn't have in your 20s.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, I have 10 years until I'm 40.
Yeah. So then you start to think about your health more. You start to make a lot of gains, things that you've taken for granted, like your health, if you were healthy in your 20s. Basically meaning all this stuff hadn't caught up with you yet. It's going to catch up with you in your 30s.
Right.
So you're going to see a lot of progress when it feels like you're seeing a lot of regression, but it's really just catching up to you. So now you have to make good decisions to propel your future to how it should have been. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely your body kind of implicitly telling you, hey, all the things that we kind of were just able to do, you're going to have to work for those things starting now.
Yeah.
Not yet, but just know that pretty soon you're going to need to be in shape just to keep doing what you were doing when you were younger.
Yeah, exactly. Again, it's like you took things for granted.
Right.
I think that was a great answer. I don't even think we have anything else to say.
Okay.
That was a quick one. I mean, it was a quick message. The message was short.
Hey, we got a new segment.
Yeah, what is
now.
this? You cannot unsee
You
it.
cannot unsee this. Here we go. This week I did something I haven't done in years and years.
What is it possibly going to be?
I went to the BuzzFeed
Oh.
They
Still
website.
exist?
They still exist. I think.
thought that they were closing down.
No, their news department. Closed down. They're still out there posting random stuff.
Are they really?
With GIFs all over it. Something caught my eye, and I clicked it, and it was funny. And I wanted to talk to you about it because you cannot unsee this.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
I think.
People who grew up rich are discussing their first experiences with culture shock after leaving their wealthy bubble. So the article got submissions from wealthy kids who didn't really realize how wealthy they were until they got a little older and met the poors.
Oh, interesting. So what'd they have to say?
All right, so there were a few. This one said, when I went away to college, I was wondering how some kids' parents could afford such amazing homes that were basically mansions for their kids when they told me where they lived. I asked them if they were having a party, and they said, no, these are my housemates, and they are renting the house together with me. That was when I found out that not everyone's parents bought a house for them to live in when they went to college.
So the person thought that when they got invited to go someplace that it was going to be a mansion like they lived in?
Yeah, well, because sometimes there are like those college houses where like it's a big house that 5 people rent. This person thought that the house was just like, oh, my friend, that's her big house. I have my big house that my parents bought me.
That's
and then
crazy.
she was like, oh, are you having a party? There's people here. No,
That's
these are the
crazy.
people I rent this property with. I didn't know. I had never heard of but I guess if you're well-to-do and your kid gets into Yale because you got that money, and there's like, yeah, here's you live here for 4 years, and then we'll
sell it.
We'll sell it and hopefully make some money in a few years. That's what they do.
That's insane.
I mean, if you've got the cash, why would you rent?
Are there more of these?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
I never had to sweat healthcare until this year, and it's... You hear it's bad, but nothing can prepare you for the wild contrast there is between being wealthy and connected and having an average income on your own. It's more than surreal. It's terrifying. So this person, I guess, recently turned 26 or 27.
That doesn't have the health care, and so they have to find their own and
I
have
guess
their
so,
own job and
yeah.
hope they don't die.
Yeah. This person strikes me as somebody who didn't actually grow up wealthy, just didn't realize how expensive things were.
Yeah.
Oh. Health insurance stuff is we're
crazy,
still
man.
waiting on the bills. That's part of why I haven't
Oh, really?
decided if I'm going to get that lawnmower you were asking me about.
He still has it, I think.
Okay. Well, I don't know yet how much it cost for Shiloh to come into the world.
It was
we did
it
it
was
at-
free in God's eyes.
Yeah, we did it at a different hospital, so I don't. I knew what to expect with Elliot. With Shiloh, I have no idea what to expect. They keep saying, "Hey, you really need to add your insurance on," and we just keep
You're
not
like, well,
responding.
what if I don't?
Yeah,
though?
we can't bill you until you put your insurance on. It's like we're not putting insurance on. Just send us the bill, the 90% discount self-pay bill, and then I want it itemized. This is like a year-long process.
Really? Is that what you have
It's
to
gonna
go
be
through?
yeah. If when you get the bill from the doctor, you have to be like, oh, can I get this itemized? And then they have to figure out how they're gonna let you know that every time they put a bandage on something, they charged you $50 for that. This one was funny. What really opened my eyes was making a new friend. I had come to the school with my mediocre grades and test scores, while she made it in with strong grades and high scores. The first time we went out to lunch together, as we approached the restaurant, she did something that really shocked me. We were walking through... This is about to just destroy your whole life. We were walking through the front patio seating area to get to the front door. I was expecting to get seated inside the air-conditioned restaurant, but my new friend had stopped walking. She was standing by a table some patrons had recently vacated, and the table had not been cleared yet. She sat down and started eating the leftovers on the plate.
The poor friend did this?
Yeah.
What does poor mean? Like, what does that mean?
I guess
That's like, that is poor. That's not like you grew up lower middle class. That's like you truly were like destitute if you went to Lowe's like that. I mean, that's kind of interesting.
Oh, yeah. She came at me with a bigger shock. She told me it was much cleaner than dumpster diving for leftover food. Have you ever dumpster divin?
Yeah, I mean, that's not that nuts. I'm saying this girl's eating off of people. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You've gone into a
I could never bring myself to dumpster dive because even if the food looked like it was new and in like packaged, it's like, yeah, but it smells bad in here.
I would just get coffee grounds for my worms.
Oh,
that's all I would do.
Yeah, I would
take
feed
that out
it
of
to, I would
context.
feed it to the worms.
I never got like food, but sometimes Sarah's family, her brother would do that and find all sorts of great things, just completely just fresh. They just threw it out because it didn't sell that day.
Yeah, I guess you just have to get over that initial hump of like being disgusted by it.
They've cracked down on that a lot more.
Oh, really?
A lot of stuff has been locked down. You can't, like Kroger, the food store. They have a lock on everything.
It's probably a liability for them. Oh, I got sick
exactly.
off of it.
Well, I mean, I've seen them like they've been pushing carts and they've got like tons of lettuce and vegetables they're throwing away. And so I was like, you probably don't do this anymore. You would have 10 years ago, but do you guys like, can I take this and give it to my animals that I have? Cause I'm like rural. And he was like, we can't do that anymore. They don't let us do it anymore. So like, they just toss it. And then they have a lock on the thing, so you can't get to it. I've looked, I've tried, it's locked.
That's so odd.
That last one just seemed like a normal person shocked by what somebody.
I think your friend was just a little strange.
Yeah, your friend's a little strange. That's a little strange. Look, I've thought about doing it. You see some French fries, or you see like something like a completely untouched thing, and they're about to take it away. You think, what? No, I can't do it.
But even still, I don't know.
No.
I think I would rather go dumpster dive and see if I found something like in a package or a box than I would. I don't know.
No, you're not doing
I
that.
don't know who or what or where. I don't know nothing.
Or what's been injected.
Yeah, that ain't either, Jordan. I grew up upper middle class, nothing super wealthy, but my parents never needed to price check at grocery stores. We went to the Keg Steakhouse. Do you know what that is?
No.
I've never heard of that.
No.
And other similar restaurants every Friday, and we did a 2-week vacation in another... Oh, I thought it said country. Once a year. We were that kind of rich from the time I was 8 years old on. I didn't know how privileged I was till I was 18 when my friend group expanded and changed. I was shocked to find out that very few have been to the majority of the restaurants I went to weekly. And if they had, it was for special occasions. I was surprised to learn they didn't get all new school supplies or new outfits to start the school year. Didn't know that Santa Claus didn't bring them everything they wanted yearly. And
So they still believe in Santa Claus? Lord
No,
help us.
no. I think she's shocked that other people think that Santa Claus brings them. That was confusing.
I think she was joking.
Okay,
You think?
I hope
Well,
so.
hopefully.
It was blown away that none of them had been on an airplane or left Canada except drives into the U.S. for vacation. I couldn't be more grateful for how I was raised and now strive to provide myself and future children with the same privilege.
That person had an awakening, but then they just hunkered down.
Now, let me tell you, Santa Claus did not bring you these. I earned these for you. The best part about that was the Santa Claus thing, and then also that she just throws out Keg Steakhouse. Like, that's something that people know what that is.
Well, look, comment below. I'm serious. What did the Santa Claus statement mean? Did that mean that she herself believed in Santa Claus, or that she's saying that others believed in Santa Claus? Or was it a joke?
I think it was a bad joke. I think that she's so privileged she has no sense of humor. She didn't have to have a sense of humor
to get by. Yeah, she
it's
didn't
like that
have
line.
to.
There's that line in Emperor's New Groove.
Let me guess, you have a great personality.
She didn't have to have one of those.
No, she
growing
didn't.
up. Okay. All right. We got a really fun segment for you next. Get ready for this, Jordan. Rank you very much. IGN, which is a video game website, posted their top 100 greatest TV shows of all time. So I went through this list. I wrote down all the ones that I knew you had seen before. And there were 15. So I basically made a ranking of the 15 in their order so that the number one isn't their number one, but it's number one of the ones you've seen. Does that make sense?
And then I can decide.
Yeah, I want to see what you think about this. Okay, so number 15 is Happy Days.
Sunday, Monday, happy days.
You know, I just turned that on for the first time in a long, long time. That entire show is just sexual innuendo.
Is it?
all it is. All it is.
Watching that show when I got older, I wasn't impressed by it.
Yeah. It was just
is that really what it is?
Yeah, it was just overbearingly like that. It was to the point where it was just kind of cringy. It was just constantly.
Ugh.
But it was like this like 50s kind of
right.
way.
Like, hey,
it was weird.
It's cute and kind of wholesome, but also
we see where it led now. That's why it's like, okay, yeah, maybe in the 90s it was like, okay, but now it's gotten so bad.
Number 14 is The Dick Van Dyke Show.
The Dick Van Dyke Show.
Wow, I'm surprised that's so low. I'm glad it's on the list though.
That now the opposite.
If you
of
tell me
Days.
that Mary Tyler Moore is on that list and it's higher than Dick Van Dyke, that will be a bad day.
Okay. The Dick Van Dyke Show is a show that I think has gotten better as you get older.
Yeah.
That show is funnier as an adult than it was as a kid. Number 13 is Survivor.
I think these all seem like good orders to me.
Okay. That's I thought you would agree with most of this.
Yeah.
So I thought you would be surprised by that. So
yeah.
All right, number 12 is Batman, the one we grew up watching.
That's higher than Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah.
That's not right.
So granted, this is a video game website where they're just like obsessed with superheroes. It's
That's
like all
true.
they think
That's
about 24
true.
hours a
Okay,
day.
okay.
Speaking of superheroes, number 11 is 24. Now, I couldn't remember if you had watched 24 or if you just saw me watching it.
No, I never watched it. I saw like a couple episodes, but now, Josh, looking back, that show's just propaganda.
Oh, 100%. And let me tell you something. I knew years before anything about Russia happened, because when 24 came back for their like bonus season or whatever, the bad guys weren't Islamic terrorists anymore.
Not anymore.
Now all of a sudden they were Russian, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess Russia's going to be the next bad guys in real life.
That's crazy.
Because
What the heck?
that whole show was a psyop.
Yeah, it was.
like
All it was whatever the government wanted to peddle at the time.
And I was right. All right, now Jordan, I think you're going to like this one. Speaking of propaganda, number 10, Band of Brothers. Just kidding. But yeah, it is Band of Brothers. Great show.
A great show. Yeah, that should be higher on the list.
You think so? All right, well, wait till I tell you what number 9 is. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
That is a good place on the list.
Okay, right in the middle?
Yeah.
Now, what if I told you that they put number 8, they put Sesame Street ahead of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
No, that's
Sesame Street, a show that is not as good when you get older.
no.
Mr. Rogers is still good.
Oh yeah, Mr. Rogers now after that should be number 1. It makes me so angry.
Number 7, Saturday Night Live.
I mean, I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see why that's on the list in the ranking. It might not necessarily be in mine, but close.
It's like, okay.
A couple
It's
here
hard to
or
argue
there.
with. Okay, now get ready to be mad. Number 6, The Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Okay. Dude, that show's just propaganda too. That's all it is. That's all it is. Dick Van Dyke isn't. Mary Tyler Moore, propaganda.
Okay. All right.
And I'm saying that I own the seasons. I love the theme song. If we were to rank this in propaganda, Mary Tyler Moore would be not high on the list, but medium.
Let me see if any more of these are propaganda. I don't think so. We'll see what you think.
Sarah watched a movie the other day that was propaganda, and she didn't really realize it. And then she told me what the movie, because it was like kind of a drama, and she really likes to tell me about those. And so I didn't watch it, but then as she was explaining it to me, I was like, this is what that whole movie was about. And she was like, oh. And then she was like, yeah, I can see that, but then she was like, well, some of it seemed like maybe it wasn't that way, but I was like, yeah.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
Number 5, The Office. Number 4, I Love Lucy.
That I was going to say, that's got to be... Is Bill Cosby not on this list?
No.
What the... That should be number 3.
Number 3 is Lost.
See, this sure, whatever, sure. Okay, this should not be number 3. I'm glad it made it on the list.
Well, we'll talk about Bill Cosby at the end.
Okay,
I know
all right.
this is upsetting to you now.
Yeah,
but
this
I
is
think
getting
you
worse.
were going to agree with the final 2. You just would swap them. Number 2, The Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Okay, you good with that?
Yeah.
Now, and number 1 is a show that you just started watching recently. Are you ready for
Wait,
this?
let me think. Heartland.
Yeah, it's Heartland. No. You want to take a guess?
Love at First Sight.
No. No.
I just started watching it.
Recently. You told me you watched the first season or so, I think. I don't know if you still watched it.
I don't know.
It's a sci-fi show.
I don't know.
X-Files.
That's number 1?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know.
I mean, look, if you just go by what the masses think, you just think, well, how many repeats were there on TV? How many reruns? X-Files constantly. I Love Lucy constantly.
Yeah.
Dick Van Dyke constantly.
Yeah.
But not Mary Tyler Moore's show. Why? I don't understand that one.
Mary Tyler Moore's show is still on TV.
But wasn't Dick Van Dyke on more? Wasn't Bill Cosby
I think
just
that-
constantly on?
I think that Mary Tyler Moore actually has more episodes, so it's easier for them to syndicate.
Look, Mary Tyler Moore has the superior theme song.
That's true.
It has a great theme song. It's constantly stuck in my head.
Love is all around, and there's no need to waste it.
I loved that song as a kid. I loved Mary Tyler Moore as a kid, like her as a person.
Oh, yeah.
But I liked the show too. But as I got older, I realized they're trying to tell me something here. I don't know what it is. I still don't know what it is, but it's got that sense of propaganda in my mind for some reason. I can't figure it out.
You got that super recognizer. You recognize the propaganda. It's like, oh, what is it? What am I being told on this?
Yeah, I don't know why. Anyways, speaking of super recognition, Josh, I have 2.
Do you want to complain about Bill Cosby first?
Yeah, what the heck? Look, did the man do some bad things? Yes, he did some horribly awful things, but the man's free. He's out of prison, so did he or not? I don't know.
I don't know why he got out of prison.
I don't either, Josh. It doesn't make any
sense. I'm not quite sure what
sense.
happened.
It doesn't really make
but I
sense.
haven't looked it up. Do you think? Can you separate the art from the artist, Jordan?
Okay, I didn't think that I could because I'm not like that. I can't. I'm really bad at doing that.
Yeah,
it's ruined for me.
You're sitting here saying Mary Tyler Moore is propaganda.
Yeah, but there was something. There's something about like. I remember you like had the seasons, and so I came in to your house. We were down here, and you said, "Oh, we were talking about Bill Cosby because he had just been let free or whatever." So you were like, "Oh, here I have the season." So then you just put one on and just said, "I wonder if this show," because you hadn't watched it in a while. So you just clicked a random episode, and it was just you just skimmed through and just got one random part. We didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
And it was just the funniest thing. We both just started dying laughing. I was like, I don't even know the context of this. And I thought, what? And it wasn't even that it was a great show. I just realized when I was watching him, I was like, this is literally how I act. Like when I'm trying to be funny. Like if I'm with Sarah, he just keeps going on and make it more elaborate. I'm like, this is exactly how I tell jokes, and I didn't even really know why.
Very influential to us growing up. Yeah.
That, I Love Lucy. Dick Van Dyke in some sense because like the way that he moves around a lot, he really kind of like helped because I watched that so much.
Yeah.
You kind of just see the influences. So, but Mary Tyler Moore, that didn't like propel my future. Right. So I don't really have.
That was just another Nick at Night show that we watched at Grandma's house.
We didn't
have cable growing up. But we had Nick at Night when we went to Grandma's house, and we watched Mary Tyler Moore. We watched I Love Lucy.
So if you told me that Mary Tyler Moore had gotten into like trouble and this stuff, I'd be like, throw her under the bus. But if you're talking about Bill Cosby, who actually had some influence with the way that I. Humor wise, I would try and pull him out under the bus, but it would still hit him.
I think because I still really like the show. I think what makes it's not like I think I shouldn't watch this.
Yeah,
it's actually that it makes me sad.
Yes,
you know what I mean, because I'm watching it. I'm like, man, he wasn't the
all-American dad.
Right. And a lot of what's fun about that show is that you thought Bill Cosby was a nice guy.
Yeah.
You remember when all that's... Okay, so there's this singer named Ryan Adams.
Yeah.
And I remember this stuff came out about, he was manipulating women and, like, getting them to...
Record deals
if they, like, dated him or whatever it was. And I remember, like, you and I reading that and both kind of looking at each other like... Didn't we kind of know he was sort of like not the best guy? Like this doesn't seem like stuff that like I already made that calculation. Like when I listen to music or watch movies, I've already made a calculation. These are all terrible people. Why Bill Cosby is hard to watch is because I
It's a betrayal.
I didn't. Yeah, it was a betrayal. I didn't have to make that calculation. I thought the calculation was, man, wholesome show, nice guy. This is great. Now I just have to think, great show. This is great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what makes it hard.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. But yes, I do own all the seasons because I'm terrified that it's going to get memory hold one day.
It may very well. All right, I've got 2 super recognitions.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. One of these is pretty obscure. One's not obscure at all.
Okay.
One is somebody that everybody knows.
Okay.
One is somebody that everybody who's watching this show should know. So that's a bit of a hint.
Okay.
But you'll get one of these. If you get this other one, you need an FBI job.
Oh, great.
You
That's
should
all I've
get
ever
the
wanted.
FBI position. This is Love is Blind.
Yeah. That is.
Great season so far, Josh.
It's like it's there, and then I lose it again.
You want me to show you another picture of him?
Yeah.
We love this guy.
When you tell me who it is.
Oh, you're gonna know immediately. Yeah.
Oh, it's Robin Williams.
No, but it does kind of look like him, but it's not Robin Williams. That's a very good guess. But when you see the one that I'm going to show you, you're going to realize just how much this guy looks like this dude.
Oh, Joaquin Phoenix. I like how anytime I get it wrong, you say no, but very good, Kronk.
Very good, Kronk. I mean, it's exactly like him.
Look at
It's
that
just
smile.
crazy.
Wow.
His nose.
Wow.
His forehead. His hair.
Wow.
It's just crazy. Why does this excite me so much? It looks exactly like him. This one should prove to you all that I have this secret ability. Okay. This is Wendy, Alex's mom on Teen Mom 3.
No. That is Tina from Survivor.
Josh, it does look like Tina from Survivor. I know.
All homeschoolers watch this season.
No, you are a super
Very good, Kronk.
But this one is from this lady is from a movie. Again, this is the mom from Teen Mom 3, like the grandma of the child.
I love how the grandmas are like in their 30s.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Okay, you want me to show you? This is Abel Fry's mom from Hangman's Curse.
Jordan, nobody has seen that movie.
Yes, they have.
Nobody has seen that
It's free on
movie.
YouTube.
Yeah, because nobody has seen it. Nobody cares to like take it down.
It's Abel Fry's mom. Now, Josh, tell me how, when I was watching Teen Mom 3, I thought back to Abel Fry's mom. Look at how
Jordan,
exactly that looks like her.
I think.
Does it not?
I think this is the one where you need to really think about if you're okay.
Doesn't that look like her?
Yeah, it does.
Thank you. I thought.
But I don't
a
know.
problem.
So Frank Peretti wrote a book called Hangman's Curse, and 20 years ago they made a movie starring that girl from Gossip Girl, I think, before she was in
Yes.
Gossip Girl.
I don't know.
And,
but she's a big actress.
Yeah,
Was.
and
That's all you need to know.
And like 3 people saw it. It was me.
That theater
Jordan,
was
and Amy.
packed.
Yeah, with the church group. And
Exactly. All these people
None of them
watched.
ever saw it again. They all
Okay,
went off
comment
and deconstructed
below.
their faith.
Well, you know what?
Okay, they
Screw it
all
all.
renounced it.
You
It's
have
free
to
on
remember-
YouTube. Everyone's got to go watch it.
It is. Go watch it. Hangman's Curse. Search on YouTube. Watch it. Somebody pirated it, I think,
It
but
was
they
an
haven't taken it down.
Edgy.
It's a great film.
PG-13.
will scare you to death.
At least I had good guesses.
You did.
She looked more like Tina from Survivor than Hangman's Curse lady.
I disagree.
Okay. Deep thoughts. Jordan, I just have been thinking about social media. Twitter, Threads, all the
Is
ones
that
that
still
people
a thing?
I think maybe for a while longer it'll be a thing.
Okay.
Everybody has to kind of like slowly kind of back away from it. Like we made a big deal about how this was going to be the next thing.
yeah.
So we have we can't just stop using
it
it,
up.
but we have to kind of
Back away.
quietly walk away.
That's what they did with 2020, 2021, 2022. They all just slowly back away from it. Hope it goes away, but maybe bring it back. Yeah.
I was thinking about how seeing random people say random stupid stuff on Twitter makes you feel like everybody thinks that. But then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy when it creates this polarization. And so people become more entrenched in their camps. So it's like
Right.
before we had social media and all this stuff, everybody just talked in person. And you had to actually be able to have conversations with each other and find common ground on things because you couldn't just
Yeah.
hunker down into your little barricade. But now you can just go online and see just like what the dumbest people take is on anything and say, oh my gosh, that has likes on it. People agree with that. Well, then I need to hunker down over here because it's all out war.
It is,
and that goes for everybody on all sides of everything. I think because we've all had that feeling of reading something completely insane online, seeing there are likes on it, and saying, oh my gosh, this is not the world I live in. That swelling in your chest, that scared feeling that you get, that is not healthy.
No. It's all very new. I heard one person say it. It's like Twitter is, I don't even remember who said this. It might have been Jordan Peterson, to be honest. He said, like, Twitter is weird because it's like the place you go to, you just show up to a party, you don't even know who's at the party or why the party is existing. You just show up.
You don't know who's at the party.
Yeah.
That was my Jordan Peterson.
That was not great, but...
Andy, you don't know it.
That was better.
You don't know who's at the party. Who's going to be there?
It's like you got into a Scottish accent.
He's gonna... You're just showing up. You bloody well showed up to the party. Well, I don't know why I'm here. I just see the vipers and the vixens, the trolls. They're all just scum of the earth, and they're on Twitter. I can't see their real faces.
Josh, you're going to have to believe this, but I came up with the greatest insult of all time, and that no one has said.
I've heard that before.
Did I come up? I told you that
Maybe
a while ago. I deleted it all. I always deleted it. I never posted. Back in the day, you had to buy something. You had to invest your money in something to have it be an influence into your life. So, for instance, like buying a CD,
gosh,
you would invest money into the CD.
That is so true.
Like Under Oath, you would buy an Under Oath CD because I'm thinking about this because as I'm driving here, Under Oath just randomly, my phone randomly plays Under Oath because I have Apple Music. It made me think like, okay, I'm glad that this song popped up because I like this song, but then you just feel weird because it's like, I didn't choose this. Yeah, I listened to this when I was a kid. I invested money into this when I was a kid because we wanted this to influence us and we wanted it to be an influence with our friends, and so we showed it to them. What I'm saying is they couldn't back then tell how many plays they had on a song. It was just how many people bought the CD.
Yeah.
That was the influence. Now it's like, okay, how many times can we get somebody to listen to this? Can we infiltrate their brains and like algorithmically put it in there and artificially?
The only comparable thing back then would have been like network television that everybody just had access to.
Yeah.
You didn't have to pay for cable. You paid for cable, but TV you just had.
But like all of the countercultural stuff that changes society.
Right. You still had to pay for that.
You had to pay for that,
right.
and you had to decide. But now it's like, it feels like the counterculture is like decided for us by like the algorithm, by TikTok, by all these things. Like really. So anyways, I feel like that kind of goes with what you're saying. It doesn't, but it slightly does.
No, it does. Listen to this. This is on Spotify.
Hey, how you doing, Josh? Good to have you here. You're with your DJ X. Up next, I got some songs you've been keeping on repeat. A little snapshot of your music at this moment in time. Tiny moving parts up first.
I don't want it to actually play music.
So this is like...
So it's like an AI DJ on Spotify. And if I skip a song, he says, all right, I know what you like. I'll play this instead.
That's a little weird.
Yeah.
There's something about this that's just not great. It's not great, man. What are you going to do next? Show me a Spotify instead of tell me... What's it gonna do?
This is an AI version of my voice. On your phone, you can say like 150 phrases and then you let it sit overnight and then it creates an AI version of your voice in case you ever lose your vocal cords.
Oh, okay, great.
Get ready for this.
Hi, Jordan. This is an AI version of my voice. Does it sound like me? I love you. But don't be weird about it, okay?
Dude, that is weird. That wasn't even that convincing, but it was.
It's like if something ever happens to my voice, at least you'll kind of remember what my voice sounded like a little bit.
Well, we would have all these videos to like remember.
This is after the
apocalypse.
EMT.
Yeah.
The pulse.
Okay.
That's when I lost my vocal cords. All right.
It gave me hope.
It gave me hope. Have you ever been talking to someone and suddenly realized that they were mad at you? You think they're kidding, and so you're kind of just saying, yeah, and then all of a sudden they keep talking, and you're like, oh, they're actually mad at me.
Oh yeah, I don't put up with that. What do you do? What do you do in that situation?
I haven't had it happen that many times. I'm not going to get into details.
You have to just double down. That's how you deal with them.
I will say that I was placed in a situation where I was with somebody and I was also with their mutual friend.
Yes.
And their mutual friend was mad at the friend.
Yeah.
But took it out on me. And so I was so like flummoxed.
So he was mad at you, but he was really mad at the other guy.
He was mad at his friend.
Okay.
But he was like talking bad about our friend to me. But he was mad at me, like because I was a part of it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, so he gets like halfway through his rant. And I'm like, oh, he's actually mad. And so this is the first time I ever met this guy. And this dude, I mean, it was straight like beta energy. I'm a short guy.
Okay.
But this guy was like shorter than me, which I feel like I'm right at that level. Where,
well, the height doesn't matter as much as the energy.
Yeah.
His energy just come across as like just he's just a wimpy kid.
Yeah. It was just like I'm not gonna say this to his face, but I'm just gonna talk to you and be like as if and I was just so confused. I was like, anytime that kind of thing happens where somebody is mad at me, it bothers me for the rest of the day. I was more than I was bothered by it. I was bothered that I was bothered by it. I was like, I shouldn't think for 1 second about this little
poser.
Why does this bother me? Anyways, so it finally convinced me to start lifting.
Oh, so now we've got the weights out there. You're using the machine.
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's fine because I had a goal for this year to be able to bench press. I don't remember how much by the end of the year, and I still haven't started. I had to get the garage all clean and everything,
which you did. It looks great.
I finally did that. I've gotten to the point where I walk and run so much, I've lost so much weight that I just look like a scrawny person. And it finally just dawned on me as this guy was yelling at me. I was like, one, I don't like that it bothers me even when someone like this is upset at me.
If it came to blows.
Yeah, and
you have to control it.
Right. I did. Like part of it was just like I don't want to ever even remotely have the vibe of this dude.
Oh, I see. You don't want to ever give off that energy.
Yeah,
to somebody.
I was just like I just couldn't believe it. And it was like one of those things too where like as soon as I met this guy, I was like, oh, this is the kind of guy who talks nice about you.
Yes.
Or talks nice to you, but will say anything. But that was just the vibe. And so then when it was like happening in front of me, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That's frustrating.
I'm hoping that I'm not doing the exact same thing. I'm trying to be as generic as possible. This could be about anybody.
Okay. I think the people watching know exactly who you're talking about.
Do they? You think so?
Yeah. Both people. And exactly where you were and what you were doing.
Yeah. We could tell any kind of story on this show. None of our friends watch this show.
No,
we could tell any story. Nobody cares. All right. So that gave me hope. What do you got?
Well, Josh, every week I just write baby chicks, but I already wrote the baby. I already talked about the baby chicks. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to tell you another thing, Josh, that gave me hope.
What
so you remember how I told you that my dog and my chickens like communicate with each other, where they make that very specific noise, and then Tucker always looks up. Well, I didn't realize the extent of this. This isn't just like a one-time thing once every 2 days.
Yeah.
I was out there yesterday, and I was working outside, and the chickens were just in a weird mood. There was a lot of cloud coverage, so they kept thinking that there was stuff like hawks overhead.
Yeah.
And whenever there's hawks overhead, they make this very specific like sequence of noises, and it alerts Tucker to look up into the sky. I don't really know how he learned this. He's seen some of them get taken away by hawks before. And when I run outside and Sarah tells me there's a hawk outside because she saw something, I just don't even look. I just run outside, throw on my boots, jump over the fence, and start looking up. So I'm assuming that Tucker knows that when there's something bad happening, look to the sky. Well, I realize
it's good advice.
It is good advice. When is he coming back? So I realized when I was out there yesterday, it was like this was happening constantly. Tucker could not couldn't rest. It was like all the time. Yeah, literally, he would be dead asleep. Then he would hear that noise. He would look up. Then he'd be like, okay, we're fine. Then he would just sit there. Then like 45 minutes later, then he would look up. And it just happened repeatedly. And I thought, what a good dog.
He's a good dog.
It'll bring a tear to your eye. That dog will bring a tear to your eye.
He's so committed
knows
to the bit.
he is. He's so committed. He knows he's messed up in the past. He's killed like 5 chickens. He knows he messed up, and now he would give his life. And you know what I think, Josh? This is a thing that I think is pretty interesting. If you really think about a dog's psyche and a dog's mind, especially a guard dog, he's out there alone.
Yeah.
Well, he's got Nora, but she didn't know what the blankety blank
on.
she's doing. So he's basically alone on his own, like in the pitch black of night, constantly. And he's always running around barking, hearing stuff. But think about it. I told Sarah the other day, I was like, think about this, Sarah. Imagine if you were hired to be a bodyguard for somebody, and you always thought that there was somebody with a machine gun who was going to come out from the woods, and you were going to have to confront them because somebody up there who wasn't even paying you wanted you to do it. That's what his mindset is. He literally thinks, I could die if I chase after whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but he chases after it like it's just what he does.
Yeah.
No fear. It really inspired me. I thought, wow, what a crazy thing. Like that's literally, imagine what that's doing to his body. That constant stress of like, we're going to fight. And okay, well, I scared it off.
Yeah.
And there's like actual coyotes and stuff that could fight him out there. So this isn't this isn't nothing. We hear them all the time. It inspired me. It gave me hope. I wish I was more like Tucker.
Good job, Tucker. He's a good boy.
We recommend.
Here we go.
Now, Josh, speaking of propaganda, okay? That's the theme of this episode. Heartland, great show. Okay? Great show. If you love like family shows, great values generally, just a great uplifting feeling for a show, cowboy kind of stuff, horses. Watch Heartland, you're going to love it.
Who doesn't love it?
Now, Josh, the show, it has gone downhill. Okay?
Oh, has it?
The show has gone through everything it can go through.
There's so many seasons.
Yeah, and they've dropped characters off. They've disappeared. No mention of them. It was like a huge part of the show. Now they're gone. This just keeps happening. It's almost like a soap opera at some point. But it's still a good show if you're invested in the story. But if the show happened now and I was just coming in on it, I would be like, okay, what is this? You definitely need to go back and watch the old seasons.
Okay.
But now the show really has taken a turn for the propaganda.
Oh, okay.
Which, you expect it. It's not as bad as you would think. The show has really held off on like, okay, I don't even care. Whatever they think. If they whatever they believe, whatever. But they've done a pretty good job generally at keeping like this kind of political air, especially even through like 2020, 2021.
Oh, okay.
I was amazed. I was like, wow, sure, they'll throw some stuff in, but it's not like other shows where it's just like bombarding you. But it is taking more of a turn in that direction. But it's still great show.
Okay.
But if you do watch it, just know that the last like 2 seasons, they're not amazing. But if you've invested hours and hundreds of hours of time, you're gonna watch it, and it's still a great show. Generally, it's great morals and whatnot. Heartland.
How many seasons are there total?
I have no idea. But me and Sarah,
12?
I think there's like 16.
Oh my word!
Me and Sarah have been watching this show since we met.
Wow.
So think about how long that's been.
So
These people
it would have
aren't
to
even
go
born.
really downhill for you to give up on it.
Oh yeah, it's like a bonding experience.
Yeah. All right.
Heartland.
All right.
So great show. What's yours, Josh?
You know what? I've just been listening to this band I listened to growing up called PAX 217. Are you among the masses? Are you among the masses?
Interested.
Great band. They were kind of like a rap rock reggae band, which was kind of a thing for a little bit
like
in the early 2000s. POD
versus
Linkin Park.
Linkin Park, yeah.
Yeah, if you like that kind of thing, it's a good blast from the past.
It is.
They were like the main song from the movie Extreme Days, other than
They really
Extreme
were.
Days.
Other than Extreme Days.
So there you go. Another episode in the
books. Thank you guys. I'm really amazed. Like every time, I'm like, how are we going to have more supporters? And it's like, is the podcast bringing in this many people? Is it the bonus messages? Like, what is it?
We've got a fun year for the community that we're working on.
Yes, we do.
Coming up. So 2024 is going to be a really exciting year. We're trying to work out all the details. That's one of the main focuses for next year. So if you're hopping on board, now is a great time to do so. We're going to have lots of fun stuff going on starting in the new year once we get through the holidays.
You get bonus messages. You get a lot of new things that are coming. And you also get your name mentioned in this show.
That's right.
At the beginning.
That's right.
So
or maybe right here on the
exactly
picture, all that stuff.
Thank you guys. We'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.